Should click on in just a second. All right, says I'm good. Should be all set. Let me get my playback up. So, how's everybody doing, if anyone's even there? Just getting my chat up. Not really sure how the attendance will be tonight. Saturday nights are always kind of like a hit and miss night for me. What's up, Dominic? Always kind of a weird night in terms of how many people turn up and all that. What's up, Space? What's up, Crom? How you guys all doing? Yeah, good game earlier. Good game. Sucks my team can't hit, but it is what it is. Rangers wound up winning. Nice. It's always good. Nice. What's up, Mike? Yeah, we're doing a take 2 of a stream we tried to do a couple days ago. So we can re-talk about the Cook situation, the Hopkins situation. What was something else that was going on? I feel like there was 3 things that was happening. Can't remember, though. I didn't wind up going disc golfing. I wound up walking to Little Caesars and getting a pizza. That took like an hour and a half. Steger was 5 for 5. Sheesh. Pretty good day. Rangers beat the Rays. Nice. It's a good W. Miami owning Sports World. Will Dolphins live up to hype? Who knows? What's up, Wade? Welcome. So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal in Michigan. I would imagine it probably tastes better in our state, too. A lot of people say it has a weird taste in other states, and I can't confirm, it would make a little sense. I think everything that like wherever something originates from, it's probably tasting the best where it originates from, and then gets worse the farther you get away from like the original location. Because there could be like places in Ohio that serve really good ass Little Caesars compared to like northern parts of Michigan that are further away from Detroit. What's up, Amir? So, and probably like parts of Chicago probably make pretty good pizza, but I thought Dalvin Cook signed a 4-year deal. I think he signed it a couple years ago and they cut him. So he is just released. He's free to sign wherever. You know, more than likely he winds up in Miami. That's kind of like the only place I could imagine him winding up, right? It's like, well, where else does he go? Does he go to the Bills and play with his brother? They don't really need a running back like Dalvin right now, though they could use him. The Chiefs don't make a ton of sense because I think they're really happy with Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as like a dual system. Carolina? I got a hot and ready and some crazy bread. What's up, Daniel? I'm just trying to think of all the possible places he could wind up. Like, I guess Carolina could work, but don't they have like some good running backs down there already where it's like, well, we could get another running back, but we have 3 good ones. I feel like one of the few ways that Carolina was like a dominant football team last year was running the football. So I like, again, even after trading McCaffrey, their running game got better. So it's not like they need more running backs. What's the Jimmy G situation? Yeah, Miami's probably going to wind up with him. I think there's a ton of mutual interest. I think he's from the Miami area, like from Broward County or whatever. And I don't know. It seems like he really wants to go play there. It seems like the Dolphins would really like to add him to the team. It just kind of maybe sounds like they just gotta like work it out. It's his Jimmy G's foot situation, yeah, but it's I don't know if that's a big deal. What's up, Jacob? Yeah, it'd be kind of shocking if he wound up anywhere else but the Dolphins. It'd be like, well, what happened with Miami? I thought that's where he was going. He could like throw a curveball and go to the Chiefs, but again, I don't know why the Chiefs would want to sign him. I thought for some reason, Jacob, because I read that really quick, I thought you just said that my grandma just died. And I was about to be like, damn, that sucks. That's a wild thing to just come in and tell a YouTube chat. Miami needs a running back. And you have to like think of like contenders who need running backs, right? Like not just like any team. It'd be like who are the good teams and who needs a running back in those teams. Miami, kind of Buffalo, but not really. You know what I mean? Just kind of like thinking across, like as the AFC West, they got a bunch of good running backs. Denver, maybe. You know what? Denver makes a ton of sense. Houston has Dameon Pierce. No, no one would be so. The surprise would be anywhere but Kansas or but Miami. Wade with Dalvin Cook. But I guess Denver makes a little bit of sense. I don't know if they have a running back that's worth a fuck. And he would make a ton of sense inside of a Sean Payton offense. He's sort of similar to what Alvin Kamara can do as a running back. So Kamara is obviously a little bit more physical, but again, they're very similar running backs. Again, you know, one guy's a little bit more physical. Dalvin's maybe a little bit more pure athletic talent. So there's kind of like that little tiny trade-off between them. But again, very similar talent pool, right? Both can catch the ball well, both can run well, both can kind of block a little bit pretty well out of the backfield, which is kind of what Sean Payton needs in a running back. So, you know, the addition of somebody like Cook in my Denver would make a ton of sense. I don't know what's going on. I think Kamara's in trouble. Yeah, Cook on the market's crazy. He's had like what 4,000 yards. He's had like what 3 or 4 straight years of 1,000 yards. It's insanity. What's up, Teddy? Yeah, we're just talking about the Dalvin Cook situation right now. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so. Helps the stream out, get some people in here early on. Did I say years? I meant yards. He's gone for 4,000 years. I probably said yards, and you just heard years. I would have remembered making not a typing mistake, but a mistake like that. Could have though. I'm talking fast. Yeah, he's young. It still has a ton of miles in the tank. It seems like such a crazy cut. Well, to be fair though, I guess like in Kevin O'Connell's system, it's kind of like how the Rams run. Like how like Dalvin Cook's kind of a useless running back in a Rams style offense. So, I think like the main thing is just like in O'Connell's offense, like they can get away with using Alexander Mattison just fine, and he's way cheaper. Again, if there was nothing. If it wasn't like a cost situation and Dalvin took a pay cut, he'd still be a Viking, but he refused to take a pay cut, so they cut him. This goes back to when I was arguing with that one guy, Amir, about how he tried to tell me that teams can just do whatever they want with terms of restructuring. It's like, no, they can't. Dalvin Cook is literally cut because he refused pay cuts. Kevin Baird for the Titans refused to pay cut, and everybody's shocked he's still on the team. Everyone's like, because the Titans are like, well, we can't fucking cut him. It's just like, what are we supposed to do? That was the weirdest conversation I've ever been in with an adult. He was like, dude, no, NFL teams can just restructure contracts at will. What? Nobody would have signed that contract. That was Seth, which is crazy because he like watches the channel. I don't know if he was being serious or not. Yeah, the official release of Dalvin Cook. It's even crazy. Well, I know teams aren't going to trade for Dalvin Cook, right? Because I mean, no offense to a running back, but there's just this weird thing about like the value of the position and how quickly it like goes down. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a funny comment. I don't know. I like people who aren't that perceptive of stuff, where they're just kind of like, "Do you drink Mountain Dew?" It's like, yeah. It'd be like, "Hey man, I noticed you're wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt. You like the show Dragon Ball Z?" No, I don't know what that is. What the fuck? This shirt just looked funny. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to give up a bunch of like stuff for him. It's kind of like the Hopkins situation. Amir, what did I tell you though? Amir, me and you got into a mini argument about DeAndre Hopkins' total value. I said that there wasn't much to him. Yeah, you guys are in full rebuild mode. I told you guys to not overshoot what the value is. Take a fifth or a sixth. That's what I kept trying to tell you. Just take literally the first deal you get for DeAndre. If somebody calls up and says, "Hey, do you want a fifth or a sixth?" Why am I such a bozo with a buzz cut? I have a fade actually. They should have cut Hopkins because they wasted dead cap on that. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have, but again, like, there's no reason to keep him. They tried to trade him, and like it's just like what reason? It could create problems. It's just one of them things where it's like there's no reason to keep DeAndre Hopkins. It's expensive. Dead cap isn't that big of a deal, especially since the salary cap's probably going to go up to, what is it at this year? What is it like? Let's look. Current NFL salary cap. It's at 224. And it went up $20 million. So my prediction at 2024 at 250 is going to be dead on. So whatever. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like the biggest deal that you guys took like the raw deal on the cut. He's the DeAndre Hopkins said he's taking his time and just going to visit with teams slowly. So he's not in any hurry. I mean, the season doesn't start anytime soon. He's probably got an idea to meet with like 3 or 4 teams, see what they have to offer him, and make the decision there. Unless a team blows him away. The thing that's probably a little scary to people is like he's going to New England, and it's like one of the biggest rumors for what 3-4 years now since he's left Houston is when is he going to go to the Patriots? And now it's like, oh fuck, he's actually going to meet with the Patriots, and it seems like that means he doesn't really care about the Bill O'Brien situation. He was a 3-time All-Pro in Bill O'Brien's offense. Patriots have the most money. Because the Patriots could do a 2-year, $15 million contract and not blink. That's like the biggest problem for a lot of you teams. The fact that he's taking the visit means he's interested in signing with the team. He doesn't have to come visit us for no reason. He's not just doing like, it's not like he's like, I'm visiting all 30 teams in the NFL. That would be a little different. Then I wouldn't give a shit. It's like, I'm going to visit the Titans, this team, and I haven't announced a single other visit. Yeah, we wouldn't be the second team he's met with. I think he was just in Nashville, and that's why he visited with the Titans last week. Yeah, me too. I'm kind of ready for football to start up. I'm kind of realizing what the Tigers are going to be. Our fun is over. Our good month has happened, and now we're back to sucking. So, football is back on the horizon. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering where Hopkins winds up. It could be Tennessee. It could be the Patriots. Tennessee was certainly sort of a wild card that I didn't see coming as far as Hopkins goes. What do I think of what? Oh, Chase Young. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a draft pick. I don't know, 4th or 5th round pick. If you can get away with getting him for that, yeah, hell yeah. But I sadly don't think I think Chase Young is going to cost a lot to get, because Chase Young's the kind of player you trade and sign, right? Like, there's zero reason, as long as he can stay healthy, to like get rid of a player like Chase Young. So I don't know. I don't think the Lions need him with with James Houston and Aiden Hutchinson, but And I think they also drafted more another defensive end. So I don't, you know what I mean? Unless he switches to tackle, which I don't think he's going to do. Giants do well. Arizona's not going to be good. Giants also have a running back problem too because they don't know what to do with. Yeah. I think they're just Barkley's holding out, isn't he? Yeah, I mean they could go for him. It makes sense, Young, to go get Chase Young, but again, it's just like it's not a major position in need. What they have like 17 sacks out of the two guys. What was it? 7.5 and 9.5. So they got like 17 sacks out of two rookies. If you're Detroit, you're literally like, we don't need no more defensive ends in this city. Why? We have the future of the NFL right on our field. He didn't sign the tag and he's holding out. Yeah. Probably just going to have to pay that guy. What's crazy is they're just not paying Barkley. It's just like, why? You mean the one guy that's probably almost as crucial as Daniel Jones in your offense? Why not pay him? Oh, fuck him. It's like, uh-oh. But I also get where the Giants are coming from, and it's not just like a fuck him situation. It's more along the lines of a, this guy has never played he's played like 2 whole seasons. And the second we pay him, it's going to be a disaster for us. Like, it's like, what, has he played 2 complete seasons? Again, I think 2 years ago he played like 13 games, so that pretty much counts. He only missed 4 games. That's not that big a deal. But also, they didn't really give him a running back, like any kind of line. He didn't really have anything really good going for him, so. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, back to DeAndre Hopkins. I think the Browns are also in play, and I don't know who else. So I guess there could be like the Chiefs and the Bills, of course, but it kind of sounds like the Chiefs and the Bills have like explicitly said that they're out. Though a lot of people seem to disagree and say that they're still in. It's like, I think the teams have said that they're out. Like, very respected media reporters for the teams themselves have said that the Bills and Chiefs are not going for the DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think they just make that. It would be like if Mike Reese was just like, suddenly, the Patriots do not plan to pursue DeAndre Hopkins any further. I'd be like, well, that didn't come from Mike Reese out of nowhere. The people are like, yeah, but it just came from 2 beat reporters. Yeah, like, yeah, who the fuck do you think told them that information? The coach themselves, the GM themselves, they're like, hey, I'm going to put this out anonymously. Don't say that you got this from me. Just your source tells you. It seems like the Bills and Chiefs do not want to pay for an. Yeah, that's the main thing I've picked up. And I think he's pissed about that, by the way. I think if you follow him on Twitter, and you're wondering why suddenly he has a renewed interest in the Patriots, I think the Bills did something and pissed this man off, something real fierce. I think the Bills offered him that. You know how there was this rumor going around that a team only offered him $2.5 million and said that's as far as he would go with DeAndre Hopkins as far as payment goes? I think that's the Bills. I'm not going to lie. I think that's Buffalo. I genuinely think Buffalo's like weirdly trying to drop his value. Yeah, there was a bunch of executives going around saying that DeAndre doesn't have the value, and it makes sense why DeAndre suddenly like, yeah, I'm washed up. Nobody wants me anymore. Fuck it. Like, he's just like talking all this like crazy shit on Twitter. He's really tired of, and I'm wondering if like suddenly the renewed interest in the Patriots is like, fuck the Bills. This is like, uh-oh. Well, Buffalo, you did fuck up. Because again, he really wanted to go to Buffalo at one point. I thought he was going there. I was like, well, fuck, he's a Bill. He basically said he wanted to go to the Bills. Like, it was kind of just one of them things where I was like, oh no. I don't know how to help you, dominant. Deal with it yourself. Yeah, basically, yeah, the three executives. I think the Bills are one of them teams. Because all of a sudden, any connection to him with Buffalo after that information came out, you have to kind of time this, right? There was a lot of gung-ho him to Buffalo rumors going on. And then suddenly all the Buffalo media was out. They were like it was like they started pushing like the wash thing. And all of a sudden all them executive rumors came out, and like one team said that they're only going to offer $2.5 million. And it's like, for a guy that isn't coming off multiple ACL injury, you think he's in worse physical shape than Odell is in? Okay. Yeah, Browns make a ton of sense. They're one of the teams to me, it's the Browns, Patriots, or I guess the Titans. Those are my top three teams in that order. But again, you have to think, like, does Watson think that it was just the quarterback situation that got him, or does Hopkins think it was just like working with Deshaun that got him over the level and got him to the All Pros, or does he think it might have been a system thing? Because again, he's played in Bill O'Brien's offenses where everything is good, everything works, and he was a monster. Goes and plays in Arizona's offenses and things aren't so great no more. So I wonder if he's learned like the value of really good coaching. Because again, remember, one of his top concerns for going to a new team was coaching, stable management, stable coaching. And I have to wonder if that's a dig at it. Well, that's definitely a dig at Arizona, but I don't know. Yeah, he was, but again, it wasn't stable. Shit was crazy in Arizona. You had a quarterback that like seemed to hate, and like one of his other requirements is that the quarterback loves football. And I'm like, oh man, poor Kyler taking shots by DeAndre really bad right now. You have to imagine why he'd like suddenly be like, I want a guy who's super committed to winning at quarterback. He loves football, and elite defense, and stable coaching and stable management. He basically said everything I've never had except at Houston for like 3-4 years there. I tend to agree, but the fact that one of DeAndre's biggest concerns for his new team is a quarterback that is 100% committed to football is a little telling, I would have to say. I tend to think that it wasn't as bad as people like to pretend it is. Like he spends all day playing Call of Duty and then like spends 1 hour on foot. No, I think I guarantee he knows the playbook. He knows it inside and out. He can recite plays. He knows how to build offense. He knows how to do all the things he's supposed to. But he's probably not as committed as other quarterbacks are. Like, you don't see, like, last year. How many off-season videos did you see last season when he wasn't rehabbing of Kyler, like, putting in a ton of work? Like, you know what I mean? Like, working with receivers, out and, like, grinding. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really see that with Kyler before, like, this offseason. It's just, like, it's just not... Like, for example, you can right now type in Mac Jones... And for I think he was off for like a week, and then he's just been grinding to get better at football. Yeah, Mac was still grinding last offseason when Patricia was his offensive coordinator, and he hated his guts. You gotta put through the effort. Oh, we're down to 3 people. I don't know how much longer the stream's gonna last, folks. The stream kind of never got going. Saturday streams are always a kind of shoot in the dark in terms of if they're ever going to last. I give them about a half hour, and this is down to 3 people. So clearly, this isn't. People don't really give a shit about this. Yeah, and maturity has nothing to do with it. Then we can talk about the Madden cover for a little bit, then probably wrap it up in a little while. We'll see if anybody pops in. But it seems like this stream is rather dead. No point to make a post. People just don't want to come in. I don't think maturity has anything to do with it. Again, I think Mac just likes football more than Kyler does. That's all. Like that, I genuinely think that Mac is just far more committed to the NFL than Kyler. You got to remember, Mac doesn't have like 3 different careers he could just easily fall back on. Kyler could easily just become a pro gamer, a streamer on top of that, or go play pro baseball. Literally, like Kyler has like 3 different very lucrative careers he could just fall back into, whereas with Mac, it's just football. It's literally like, I like football and tennis and football again. And then for a 4th time, I also like football. That was the 3rd time, yeah, but it was number 4 on the list. It's football. Might as well for 5 also put football because that's all I really, you know. Yeah, exactly. And it's nothing against Kyler because, again, also, yeah, that too. Mac has to like work way harder than most guys in the NFL because, again, he's kind of a dumpy, slow guy with a hilarious milkshake build. It is what it is with Mr. McCorkle. Kyler is also a freak. I consider one of the best athletes in the NFL. So, like, genuinely, like in terms of like as far as like pure athletes go, I think Kyler's like got to be up there with like everybody else. I mean, you don't get drafted top 10 in 2 sports, because you're a dog shit athlete. Like it's just like, nah, he's not very fast. It's like, nah, he's a monster for what he is. Yeah, it'll help with new coaching. They'll probably keep Kyler. There's no reason to move on. I haven't seen a reason why they'd want to move on from him. I think the problem was coaching. Like you said, I think a big also problem is I don't think anyone give a fuck about Cliff Kingsbury. It's like this guy was never a winner anywhere. Why would you? What are we respecting here? And his teams became very beatable about halfway through every year. About what would he have, like one of the best teams for about 7 games every year? And then it just seemed like the Cardinals couldn't do anything. It's just like, yeah, that's because they like ran some weird trickery, smoke and mirrors horse shit for like 8 games, ran the shit out of people's pockets, and then lost every game that followed because they just kept doing the same thing. Yeah, I don't know how Cliff, he just failed into better and better jobs as he went along. Shitty, like, you know what's funny is I think he has a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. Oh, wait a minute, 05? No, I don't think he actually got one. He might have been on the roster for the undefeated team, though, which is kind of funny to think about. What's up, Alex? Welcome in. But yeah, Hopkins is fun to think about. Yeah, we can move on to Josh Allen's Madden cover. That's funny. Couple fun facts about the Josh Allen Madden cover. He's the first ever Buffalo Bills player to don the cover. Kyler played football. Yeah, he's a quarterback right now for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Hopkins' suspension was a bit of a problem. I don't care about that, though. I hope he does more steroids in the offseason and gets bigger and stronger. Yeah. Do people not remember what happened after Julian Edelman got suspended for steroids? That man was unstoppable for the next 2 years. That shit was awesome. I want DeAndre Hopkins on the Patriots so bad this year, mainly because he's going to have steroid afterglow this season. I'm projecting like 1,500 yards, 8 or 9 touchdowns for Hopkins, like 110 receptions, and he's going to be like a Superman for about 14 games, and then his body's going to break down viciously. But hey, it'll be so worth it. That'll get us. That might win a game or 2 against Buffalo. If we can pick up Hopkins, that might be our best opportunity to beat them bitches. Even Buffalo fans, the honest ones, are nervous about this opportunity. They're like, dude, the last time they did this, if they really pick up this receiver, the last goddamn time the Patriots picked up a fucking washed receiver, what happened, everybody? Please tell us. They're not going to do it this time. Okay. You know why though? That's funny. Why everybody like has that wrong. Patriots fans need to be a little bit more honest when they're like, dude, Tom Brady changed as a quarterback. It's like, no, he didn't. He threw 38 touchdowns his second year as a starter in the NFL, but no one talks about that year because the Patriots didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, Tom Brady led the league in passing that year, I believe. His second year as a starter. Very unknown situation. Very little talked about because Patriots fans like to run this narrative that Tom Brady was just bumbling along. And I think a lot of people like to run this narrative, and I'm not sure why. No one ever really brings this up, that Brady like led the league in passing in his second year as a starter, but the year they didn't make the playoffs. So it's a very odd. I don't know what happened. Then they won the next two Super Bowls. Strong D line. Yeah. You know who also makes weird sense for DeAndre Hopkins? The Detroit Lions. Do you think we retain Saquon? Me and Amir were talking about that a little bit. I think you guys ultimately will keep Saquon. But I also think you guys should just pay him. I know it sucks and it's painful to pay running backs, but doesn't he just want like $13 million a year or something like that? It's like, fuck it. Yeah, the more I found out on the Jameson Williams, we can talk about that in a situation. I found out more about that Jameson Williams. He wasn't even on the team facility. He was at a hotel with the team. Yeah, that's the Jameson Williams. He bet on a college football game while at the team hotel one night. Oh, how are you supposed to fucking know you're not allowed to do it there? Apparently, that's a team facility. It's like, oh, come on, dude. Like, I get if he's like in the like Detroit Lions like field. Like, I get if he's at Ford Field and like using his phone and gambling. I'm like, dude, that's against the rules, man. And no one does that because they know that that's against the rules. Team facility, you think of. I can't do it at Ford Field. I can't do it at any football facility. Got it. Not at the goddamn hotel that your team booked. How is that a team facility? That's what he got in trouble for. That is literally what poor Jameson Williams is suspended 6 games for. Everybody else, fuck them. They deserve it. They bet on NFL games. Goodbye. You're lucky the league doesn't kick you out, and if they do decide to kick you out, I fully support the league in doing that, by the way. The only situation I wouldn't Calvin Ridley situation where he has the built-in excuse of, I thought because I was on the injured reserved list, I was on the non-football injured list or whatever was going on, I was exempt from that rule. I thought I was removed from that following that rule, which okay, I can understand that, but the rest of them, I don't really give a fuck. That Colts cornerback, he could be kicked out. You could kick out the Lions players that bet on games. I don't care. No need to do that. That's against the rules. It's very explicit. They tell you like 17, 20 times. There's a pre-combine meeting in the NFL. They tell you not to gamble on NFL games. They tell you like 3 different times in that meeting. Then you go to a separate meeting called the Don't Gamble in the NFL meeting. And trust me, I've heard about this talked about by so many different players. Then, after the draft, there's another meeting called the Don't Bet on the NFL, now that you're in the NFL meeting. Then your team sends you to another meeting where they tell you not to gamble on games. Then you meet with a third person at the rookie symposium where they tell you, don't motherfucking gamble on the games. That's also where they have the woman come in and warn you about gold diggers and looking out for dirty bitches who are going to try to trap you. I think he's just taking a suspension. I guess they're not even going to appeal it. There's a lot of weird meetings these rookies go to, and like they send you to gambling advice like 80,000 times, and then when they sign the contract, they circle it in big motherfucking letters that you could be kicked out of the league if you gamble. It's on the NFL, and they catch you. It's like, don't do this. Do not gamble on football games. Like they're like very explicit about it. It's like one of it's probably the biggest rule in the NFL, other than like. I honestly don't know what can get you a year suspension. You could beat the dog shit out of a woman and only get 4 games. Like, you know what I mean? You could, like, if Henry Ruggs wasn't going to prison, he'd probably be back in the NFL right now. They might only gave him 6 games for conduct detrimental. He didn't even get a year. He got an indefinite suspension. They were just like, we feel that that's enough time. Like, they could just keep some of these guys suspended for forever. Like, they could just be like, we're not done suspending this guy yet. And the NFLPA would just be like, yep, that's the rule for fucking gambling. It's like the NFL takes one thing very, 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 very seriously, and that's players gambling. And for a league that, like, is supposedly rigged, man, they sure give a shit about the one thing they give a fuck about is this rule, because it's the one thing that could start to make a league look really, really fake. Is when a bunch of people, when the players are all gambling on the games, it's like, well, this is fake now. This is all fucking rigged. You'd have to, you kind of have to look at it from the league's perspective. Because again, if, the NBA doesn't seem like they're like that strict about it for some reason. Like, it's kind of just like, yeah, you get in trouble if you do it, I guess, maybe, if we catch you. Dude, the MLB is like, oh yeah, you gambled on our game, huh? You didn't even play. What do you mean I'm the greatest hitter that's ever played your game? Says here you've never played in the MLB, Pete Rose. How did you do that? I don't know. We don't even know who Pete Rose is. He's never played in pro baseball, huh? Who's that? But I gambled on my team to win the games. What games? You never were a coach. You never played in this league. Who the fuck are you? Get away. And that was the end of Pete Rose. That's how I know certain sports are rigged or not. How the way that they treat gamblers and people who get caught betting. The MLB just deleted a guy. They're just like, man, he's gone for forever. Anybody else gonna ever do that? And everybody in the MLB went, nope, we're never gonna bet on baseball. What the fuck was that? NFL players are gonna learn not to fucking bet on games. Hey, dumbasses, don't do that. Or do what MLB players do. The MLBPA tells their players probably, hey, if you want to bet on games, you got a family friend. Because, again, you can't go to your brothers because, again, they monitor your brothers. They monitor your family, like the immediate family. Because, again, they can. You sign contracts and shit and all that stuff about gambling. Your family can't be placing suddenly, like, $40,000 bets. It just looks a little suspicious if all of a sudden, like, your brother or sister is placing these hilarious large monies. Not on the game themselves, yeah. I think their families can gamble, but it's like it's under heavy scrutiny. And I don't think you want to have large bank transfers between you and your NFL player brother. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, if it's just some guy that your family's good friends with, that you grew up with, that's who should be placing all your NFL bets if you're an NFL player that wants to gamble. Literally, just your buddy, like your buddy Phil that you've always known, that you're still friends with. Your family still hang out with each other, and you're like, "Hey, Phil, here's the money for the thing," and then you go and you take care of your buddy's bets, and you go, "Hey, he gives me a few $1,000s just to run his money." And again, you make sure that guy's well paid, so he's never tempted to fuck you over. Dude, you can never get caught. And guess what? All the non-retarded players, that's how they do that. That's why every player who doesn't have a peanut fucking sized brain does that. That's why they used to have Chris Carson come into the NFL meetings that I was discussing, and the super private meeting that no one else but players were ever allowed to go into. Literally, they'd never let anybody but coaches and players go in those meetings with Chris Carter. And Mike, what were those meetings about, Mike, if you're still here? The famous meetings that he got in big trouble for. Because somebody snitched on the secret super meeting that Chris Carter gave to the league, and now they can't have them meetings anymore. And now a bunch of guys are getting in goddamn trouble again. Isn't it funny how 4 years ago they stopped the Fall Guy meeting, and now Henry Ruggs is about to is going to prison? And as bad as that may sound, Chris Carter literally used to come in and give a speech about how in the NFL, if you're gonna do stupid shit, don't. But if you do, you need to have one of your young childhood friends who have nothing going on in their lives, who have a family, and they're broke as shit. And oh man, this feels so bad. And they're willing to go to prison for you if you take care of their family. That's literally what it is. And guess what? The Fall Guy takes all the problems. Like, for example, Henry Ruggs wouldn't have been driving that car that night. It would have been his friend who ran. I ran from the scene. It literally would have just been some random dude came turn himself in, and then he'd have been like, I'm here to turn myself in. I actually was the one driving that night. I panicked and ran, and I don't want Henry to have to go through this and ruin his career. I did it. And Henry Ruggs didn't know to have that because they didn't let Chris Carter give the Fall Guy speech. It's a real thing. And this could have just translated to gambling. Yeah, in other sports, sure. I bet Roger doesn't bet on football, though. You don't understand how much Roger Goodell loves the NFL. I highly doubt he bets on the NFL. I'm telling you, I bet you the fact that the owners agreed to allow the NFL to partner with sports betting, I bet you that's the only reason he doesn't give a shit if they don't renew his contract. I actually don't know if he likes betting like that. You gotta remember, he's a pretty high stakes lawyer, pretty nerdy guy. Like, he was a very high stake, like he was a pretty big lawyer, and lived it's a pretty I don't know. He doesn't even look like he drinks that much, to be honest with you. You gotta remember, he's under a lot of pressure all the time on like billion-dollar deals all the time at this point. And he's a little bit worried that he's not going to get his contract renewed with the owners. He thinks that might have been his last draft. It's kind of sad to think about, like, man, are they really going to let Roger go? Look how big the fucking league got under him. Dude, like, think about, like, the value. Okay, so, want to know how much? Let's look at this. How much did how much did Robert Kraft buy the Patriots for? He paid $172 million in 1994. Right? And that was a year before Goodell took over, about 2 years before Goodell became commissioner, or something like that. It was not much longer. So maybe about 250 was the average worth of an NFL team at that point. Maybe 300 million would have been high pointing it. The Patriots are now worth about $5 billion. And the average, what did the Washington just sell for, like $6 billion? Or a little under 5, or a little under 6. I think another NFL team just sold for several $billion. And this is under the span of Roger Goodell's leading the NFL. So say your team is now worth I don't even, they're worth 6.4 right now. So right now, Goodell has made Robert Kraft $6.3 billion. Like, that's what his investment has been worth since Goodell took over. Whatever. Like, it's insane, dude. This just shows you the value of this franchise since, and it's just one team. I'm sure you can look at any team in the NFL. Like, this is crazy, dude. And I can't imagine why Goodell would be worried that he's about to be like replaced. It's like, who the fuck are they gonna bring in, Roger? You made these people six. If Goodell sold, if Kraft sold the Patriots, you made that man $6 billion. Like, I don't like what is Kraft doing? What is? That's what I mean. Like, he's done deals with gambling companies. There's teams that want to be built in Europe. He might be expanding the NFL into international waters. He's gotten games in London for forever. Germany now has games. Sweden wants games. Like, who are the other teams? France wants games. Spain wants games. What other teams in Europe? Every country in Europe wants a goddamn NFL couple games to come. But I think those are like the big five. Like, it's just crazy to think about, like, the NFL is growing in Europe under Goodell. There's no fucking way they fire this guy. There's no way the owners aren't just like, we kind of got to keep the fucking Goodell bot, don't we? Yeah, he's too good. Like, in terms of just growing a game, he literally arguably might be the greatest commissioner in the history of professional sports. Team sports, anyway. Because like Dana White's pretty solid as a MMA commissioner. Kind of hard to beat that guy. That guy turned the UFC from some fucking terrorist-looking organization into one of the biggest respected brands on the planet. So, big respect to Dana White on that. He took back Allen Tunisian knife fighting and turned it into a fucking living room sport for soccer moms. That's incredible talent by Dana White. I'll say Roger might be the second greatest. But the greatest team sports, probably. David Stern's pretty close, but he was a known cheater and rigged everything for, for the best ratings, but whatever. And it worked. I can't. You know what's funny is, like, David Stern might have rigged a bunch of horse shit, but it's like it all worked out to be for, like, the best. It's just like, yeah, I knew what I was doing, though. I was fucking cooking when I fucking froze those envelopes. I sent the best player over to the Knicks, and wasn't that the greatest thing ever? Everybody liked that move, didn't they? It's like, yeah. If leagues do sometimes rig things, you gotta admit, they're rigging it really good. They're hitting all the right fucking buttons in the NFL. Like that's the funny thing is, like, if the NFL is rigged, Roger Goodell is one of the greatest storytellers that has ever existed in the history of mankind. Some of the shit this man has come up with is like next level if he's the guy. Unless he's not the one writing it, it's just like some random guy, some really fat guy who just really gets into like Madden stuff. He's like, oh, I got a new storyline for the season. All right, you ever heard of the... Some guy just got really into a Madden rebuild playing the Lions, so they're like, all right, we're going to do this Lions thing that I got cooking in the background. I think this is going to be really fun. We're going to do like a rebuild with every team, and I don't know, though. I don't know. Hop on Madden. I don't even know if I have Madden installed. Oh, I do. What the fuck? I just like own Madden 23. I forgot I have this. I mean, theoretically, I could play a little Madden. I play on PC only, and I haven't played Madden in a while, so I'd have to play a computer to get good again. I do want to kind of dust my skills up a little bit. I don't know. We'll do a little bit more talking here. But Mike, what did you want to talk about more about the Bills cover, about Madden? Now that we're on the topic of Madden. Does he deserve to be on the cover, Josh Allen? And do we believe in the Madden curse? I personally think it got broken, and now it doesn't matter who's on the cover. What if they did it on purpose to curse him? They're like, fuck Josh Allen. Here's a Madden curse for him. Yeah, I'm not sure why they decided to disgrace their cover with such a weird guy dating such an ugly girl. Everyone keeps telling me that Josh Allen's new girlfriend, Haley Seinfeld, is really hot, or whatever the fuck her name is. They're like, dude, she voices in Spider-Man. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not a 5-year-old. I didn't watch Spider-Man yet. I don't watch it illegally when it comes out on one of the sites I watch movies on. Allegedly. Yeah, I'd prefer my quarterback to like be on the cover of Madden to have a girlfriend like Sophia Scott, you know, like somebody hot. Like, I don't know who has a girlfriend like that, like Mac Jones. Like, Mac Jones honestly should have been on the cover. Like, number 1, hits a clean gritty. Number 2, survived a year with Matt Patricia. Hotter girlfriend than Josh Allen. Cooler number than Josh Allen. Who wears 17? What is that? Like, what? Ugh. Huh? What kind of lame ass number is 17? I'm sorry, but that's a lame number. Name one cool athlete that's ever wore 17. 10 is a traditional quarterback number. That's a solid, cool number. DeAndre Hopkins also wears 10, which could be a problem pretty soon, but I think he also wears like a different number. Yeah, if you play it, yeah, if you yeah, it's like if you play, yeah. What's up, Daniel? Yeah, basically, if you make it to the AFC Championship game as an AFC team, it like an extra. You can play in Josh Allen mode, and you just kind of never win. Like the difficulty is harder than all Madden. If you flip it on Josh Allen mode, and it's basically like everything is like the same, but your guy like goes super try hard and like overthrows the football a bunch, and his accuracy goes down to like 15, and he just runs a lot. Yeah, no, we know Josh is good. Just like, why not? Yeah, why not Burrow? Why not like Mahomes again? Just give him a solo cover. Why not Travis Kelce? Like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Like honestly, why not Justin Jefferson? That man literally brought a new move into the NFL that everybody does. Yeah, Kelce would have been perfect. Burrow would have been perfect. Jamar Chase would have been great. You know who also would have been really good for the Madden cover? Like, unironically, Sauce Gardner. Like, why not him? Why not give a defensive player a Madden cover? Do you know how long it's been? I think was fucking Ray Lewis the last player who played defense to get a Madden cover? Like, if you could pick a better player to be a Madden cover, would be like, as much as I find the kid kind of annoying, he's really good. I don't know if he's going to get away with PI as much in year number 2 now that the refs are going to be looking at him for it. But if he does, I mean, like, I don't understand why he wasn't the Madden cover. Like him, Kelce, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Those were the guys that I was expecting to get it. Mac Jones obviously being number 1. Was a little surprised when I found out Mac wasn't even in the running for a Madden cover. It's a little insulting. I'm like, what are you going to give it to a concussion Viola? My quarterback don't get concussions. He's a real man. I don't know. I actually don't even hate Tua that much anymore. I kind of feel bad for the guy. Now that everybody there's a part of me that doesn't think he sucks, right? Like what I was watching last year, I was like, I don't know, guys. He's like super accurate inside of 20 yards. It's just, there is really not much of a deep game there, and like they're kind of just chip shots, and most of his deep passes are little slants. But if people were a little bit more honest, Miami fans, about what Tua could do, if they just like only claim that Tua was just like super accurate, like short game, like he's like an elite short game passer, but like Miami fans won't accept that. Like, dude, if Mac Jones was the elite short game passer, I'd be very happy with that, which he basically is. It's like, what's the insult with that? Do you know what Tom Brady was? An elite short game passer. He can, but it's not like his like big thing. You know what Tom Brady couldn't do? Tom Brady couldn't throw it like that either. I don't understand why people get offended when I say like, no, your quarterback couldn't really throw that far. Like Brady really couldn't throw that far. Have you ever watched Tom Brady throw footballs far? Ugly throws. They're not great. Peyton Manning had a shitty arm too. Like, let's be honest about it. Go watch Peyton Manning throw a deep pass. Literally, go watch any Peyton Manning deep throw. It's like insane how ugly a ball Peyton Manning throws. Like, it makes Mahomes look like it's wild how like kind of bad arms Brady and Manning had. I would remember him doing that. That literally probably has never happened. Number one, they don't run plays like that in the Super Bowl unless it was like some weird Hail Mary where Tom would throw it 70 yards down the field for some particular reason. The reason I say I don't remember ever running a play like that is because I don't think the Patriots have ever ran a singular 70-yard throw. I don't think that's in our playbook unless it was literally just a Hail Mary at the end of the game from the 30, but we wouldn't do that. Now, Hail Marys are different. That's not a real throw. Like, you can throw it far, but he's not a deep passer. I don't consider just launching it 70 yards down the field like a throw. I'm talking like you aim it, you throw it properly, you aim it like correctly, you put it on the money where you need it to go. Tom's about good for about 40 to 50 yards, just like Peyton was. And the throws aren't pretty. They're wobbly shit ducks. Probably really easy to pick off if you actually got in the way of the ball, but again, it's like weirdly accurate. It's like super accurately thrown, so it's like impossible to get to, unless you literally just time it perfectly. No, like most NFL quarterbacks can all throw the ball like tremendously far distances, but it's like accuracy starts to fade off. Like the tight pass starts to fade away. Like I'm pretty sure most guys in the NFL can bomb the length of the field or get it about 80 yards downfield, but it's like it turns into like a super like laser pass from like the Colts quarter Anthony Richardson hitting the roof at the pro day that he had. Do you remember when Anthony Richardson was just bombing footballs and just hit the roof of the ceiling? That's what happens when you're just bombing it. Yeah. What's up, Dominant? Matthew Stafford? I hope he's healthy this year. He's got what, a back thing going on? Again, I think most quarterbacks probably can throw the field, or come real damn close to being able to do so. Hey, wow, we're actually at 19 likes on the stream. I appreciate that. As long as they're all real likes. Somebody's been going through doing the fake dislike thing again. And it's like, well, I guess there's only 7 likes on today's stream. But like, I don't think the person kind of realizes the futility of that action on those kind of streams where they have zero replayability because they're live reaction to games. It's just like, oh, I mean, thanks for helping out the stream. I don't really know what your troll effort was. Afterward, it's like, yeah, no one ever looks at these streams again. No one 3 days from now is going to want to watch the Tigers replay of the Tigers and Phillies broadcast that I did. Literally 0 people are ever going to watch that stream again. Unless the Tigers play the Phillies and they think that that's the actual game being played. Or like NFL, who's going to go back and watch last year's version or copy of us covering the Patriots versus Bengals? No one's gonna go watch that. It's just like, so why would you go through all the effort of troll liking the video just to watch all the likes go away? Knowing that no one else will ever see your effort. I don't get zero effort trolling. It's like, don't you watch your efforts to like do something negative to me? It doesn't hurt my channel for you to do that. It's like, Stafford and clutchness. I don't think Matthew Stafford was very clutch. He has his moments. He has good moments, but like ultimately, like, how many big drives or big moments for the Lions would stop cold because Matt Stafford just like threw the ball at the other player? Not even like a whoops-a-daisy, like he got tipped. It was like, nah, he just kind of rifled it right at the defense for some reason. Like that's like a Matt Stafford thing for a while there. Yeah, he would be like leading this crazy comeback where he's put up like 28 points to come back in the game. He'd be down by like 4 points. And then like he'd throw a pick on that last try. Dude, I'm not saying he's not a good comeback quarterback, but there's also this weird duality of Matt Stafford where literally he'll have led like a 28 point. Yeah, they almost did it in the Super Bowl. They almost blew it against the Buccaneers. Like, he has like this weird, like, he's very good in clutch situations, but like almost in the exact same breath, he's very weird. Like, he gets very weird in bad situation. Even when things were good in Detroit and like we were winning games with the line, like he'd have these weird moments, man. Just where it'd just be these nonsensical fucking picks. Like, and they're not even like, oh, that was a lucky intercept. No, it's like he rifled it right into the chest of a motherfucker and they caught it. It's just, Matt, who are you throwing the ball to? Oh, fuck. And he knows he just made a mistake because those are the ones he'd just be shaking his head when he ran off the field because something like he misfired or something. And like it was always the most heartbreaking inner moment because again, he'd already come back like 3 or 4 touchdowns in the game. There's like 20 seconds left. We're at like the 20-yard line driving in to score a game-winning touchdown. Stafford fires back and throws a pick 6 and it's like, son of a fucking bitch, we lost. And it's just like, and the loss feels a lot worse than what it was too. And then Stafford's accused of being Stat Padford. It's like, no, he can't be Stat Padford when the Lions are always coming back because the defense is fucking butthole and the special teams is pretty solid. It's the one thing Lions fans can kind of brag about people. They're like, we've had elite kickers. We got Jason Hanson. Yeah, I like Stafford. I think he's clutch, but again, he's got weird moments that make me question how clutch he is. I think he's got the clutch gene, but he also has like this weird choke artist gene. I'm not really sure what it is. Jared Goff. My stance on Goff has never changed. Except a little bit it has since he's become a Lion. I've always considered I've never considered Goff to be the puppet of McVay. I think that's a silly notion and a very wrong way to look at how that works. Like, they're like, he called the plays for Jared Goff. The fuck do you think an offensive coordinator does? Do you know who called the plays for Tom Brady? His offensive coordinator. Tom said he rarely ever changes plays. Just sometimes if the defense calls for it, he'd like switch the way the run was designed to go. He'd stay inside. Like, he never would change from pass to run to pass. Like that's like people really overvalue or undervalue what actually how Andy Reid calls every one of Pat Mahomes' plays. So like is Goff, is Mahomes just the puppet of Andy Reid? No, that's retarded. Like, why the hell were people doing that to Jared Goff? I never understood that. The secret with Jared Goff is and always has been, Jared Goff is as good as his offensive line allows him to be. Basically, I've always kind of made a joke is like Jared Goff is as good as his offensive line allows him to go. Like, that's kind of like the you can always look at this. It's like when he first goes to the Rams, dog shit offensive line, dog shit quarterback. They build a decent offensive line. He ascends to one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the NFL during like the beginning of the Rams with McVay, him. They put on that big ass escapade in against Kansas City where they score like 50 points apiece, first time in NFL history where both teams score that high. And then he goes to a Super Bowl. Even again, he runs into the Patriots, and that's a goddamn shame because we destroyed that man. And then the offensive line. Was dog shit again, and for the Rams, right? I think Whitworth got hurt, and it just kind of crumbled. Him and McVay got into a fight about apparently something happened where Goff texted somebody that he could totally fuck coach's girl. What's up, Sludge? Or it's like a really weird story where Goff basically insinuated that he could fuck McVay's bitch, and McVay didn't really like that. And basically, right after that story came out, Goff it collapsed. Everything in the Rams collapsed, and I think there might have been I don't know. I don't really get into the personal sides of shit. It's kind of messy. I don't really give a fuck. But that needed to go. But as Mike kind of pointed out, since Goff has come to Detroit, it seems like something has like clicked in his head. It almost seems like getting traded and being sent away from like one of the highs in the NFL to like, no offense, Lions fans, but like until the last couple of years, you guys were like the Armageddon. You guys were like the purgatory, the sunken place of the NFL, where people went to die. And Goff like weirdly didn't see it as that. He took it as a chance to like rebirth himself entirely as a football player and rebuild his imagery and like lift the Lions up. But like he took it as like this weird opportunity, and something like fundamentally clicked in his brain where he's like, I don't fucking like. It's like he's a new quarterback, it seems. Where he like completely trusts what he can do and like his own thoughts and like the way he breaks the game down. He's like, no, I'm a good smart quarterback. I can do this. I can do that. Like, and like that's a very big kudos to the Lions coaching staff, by the way. The way that they were able to build his confidence way back up, because he was broken when he came, and the Lions really got him like, no, I'm a guy. I'm like the shit. And like they quarterbacks need to have like a very, very confident, surefire attitude, or they'll start second guessing every throw they're doing, start making stupid mistakes like Goff was doing in LA and at the beginning with the Lions. And now he's just, hey, he looks a lot more like he did in the good years with the Rams now. And plus the Lions have one of the best lines in the NFL, and that's going to help Jared Goff tremendously. So he's changed a little bit in that he's a lot more confident in his own ability. He doesn't seem to second guess what he's doing. Even if he makes a mistake, he doesn't really let it eat him up, which really killed him with the Rams. Mistakes used to kill him, which pretty common thing. But you need to have like Eli Manning memory about mistakes. You know what quarterback probably never had a bad thought in his head after he threw a pick? Eli Manning. If I was to ever teach a quarterback temperament, I would be like, all right, we're going to go look at this genetic freak named Eli Manning. He doesn't have but 7 brain cells. Can you tell me why that's a dangerous thing to be as a quarterback? He could throw 10 picks in a game and not remember what he just did. What do you mean? I'm having a pretty good game. I'm Eli Manning. Just like totally tarting it up. Having one of the worst performances out there. And he won't remember a single bad throw that game. He'll be probably pretty pissed after the game. But again, very good in-game temperament. And that's bad. He never won anything. Notice Eli Manning, what led 2 Super Bowl teams? Because the guy never fucking faltered under pressure. That's another thing. Like, you kind of just got to move. You can get a little pissed, slam your helmet down or something, because that just kind of shows you're upset, and that happens. Slam the tablets because you realize what mistake you just made. That's common anger, but like going out there and playing pissed off because you threw a pick, guess what you're gonna probably do? Fuck up and turn the ball over again. Make a bad throw because you're fucking pumping it down the field way too hard. Underthrow it just because, again, you're throwing it too hard and it slips out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you can't play with that kind of energy. And guys like Phillip Rivers would come out and play angry as dog shit. It's like, and then throw another pick and get even angrier. It's like, hey, Phillip, you got to just calm down and play football before you lose your fucking mind or something. Anybody got anything cool from Otaz? I don't really have anything cool from Otaz. But yeah, Mike, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot better options than old Goff or than old Buddy. Let's see. Oh, Garrett Bowles. You know what's fun is that all the suddenly all these Broncos players are like really backing up Russell Wilson. Like all of them are. I wonder if something happened and Russell's like a whole new guy at Otaz and everyone's like, "Oh shit, he's back." Like he came into they were all in the locker room and he came in and like one of the guys were just like, "Oh, look out, it's danger." And he like walked up to him and punched him in the stomach and said, "We're not doing that gay shit this year. Don't even do that." Like, cause he's like all fit and shit now. Russ is he lost a ton of weight. He just walks in and cracks a guy in the ribs. He's like, "We're going back to seriousness. I'm not any of that shit. I'm just Russell Wilson now. I'm not gonna do any of the gay calisthenics on the plane. I'm just back to square one." Yeah, like suddenly everybody's like really pro Russell Wilson on that Broncos team. And I'm like, well, what happened? What changed? Yeah, he lost 30 fucking pounds. How did he get 30? Where was he hiding 30 pounds? Everybody was right. He did get fat last year. They're just going to stash Hooker for a year and let his knee recover. I think Goff's ultimate destiny is to win the Lions the Super Bowl, and I don't know why, but I think there's weird poetic justice in Jared Goff winning the Lions the Super Bowl and achieving something Matt Stafford couldn't do on it's like this weird thing, right? Stafford had to be put onto a super team to finally get his ring, whereas like the guy's job he took over a worse team and then led that team into the promised land. The job that Stafford was supposed to, like, I don't know. To me, it's like a weird poeticness to it. Yeah, as long as it's not against the Patriots, Goff can win a Super Bowl, and that'd be cool. Again, I've often said if Goff wins a Super Bowl with the Lions, it unironically hurts Matt Stafford's legacy. Like Matthew Stafford really needs Jared Goff to not win a Super Bowl in Detroit. Because again, that will fucking hurt his legacy. I don't know how, and I can't really explain why I think that right off the top of my head. Yeah, it does something weird where it's like, how did you miss out on Goff, the guy who led the Lions to the thing? And Stafford, how were you not the quarterback that led the Lions to the promised land? But Jared Goff was. Jared Goff is a better all-time QB than Stafford. Yeah, they probably should have never fired that guy. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? And you know what? No, firing him wasn't the problem. It was hiring Matt Patricia was the problem. I think more than anything, that's what screwed the Lions over. It wasn't firing a guy who couldn't get past 9-7, and was consistently getting worse each year. Let's not remember that 1 year of those 9-7s, Matt Stafford had 9 come from behind wins. It wasn't a racist act. The guy stopped. Dude, no, it wasn't. Caldwell has the most like rose-tinted colored glasses on his career that I've ever seen. He had like one good year in Detroit where Detroit was really good. And then the rest of the years, they struggled to win 8 or 9 to 10 games. Or they struggle busted to 9 and made the playoffs and would lose if they made the playoffs immediately. He wasn't getting them any further than 9-7 or 10-6. Yeah, but people are silly, man. A lot of people just weren't watching. Like the team was stuck where Caldwell had them. They were not getting past it. If it wasn't for Stafford literally breaking his body that year, the Lions would have had a bad year. They started like 0 or 1-7, and then Stafford won the rest of the games. think if you watch the NFL, you remember when the Lions did that, where Stafford literally they started out like 1-7 or 1-6, and then they won like the rest of their games. It was one of the craziest ends to it. I think they even made the playoffs and lost to Seattle. I think that was the year that happened. But like that was about what the peak of the Lions were going to be under Caldwell. A team that could maybe sneak in every year. And again, some people said that that's a little bit better than what it was, but honestly, not really. If somebody can only get you so far, the right move is to fire them and move on to the next guy who can get you past that point. The problem was we thought that we thought with some decent logic and some decent, the Lions thought that Patricia wouldn't be a bust. And he, personally, I don't think it was. Wow, I can't even say that now because of Mac Jones, dude. Because of what that guy did to my team last year. See, we're victims too now, Lions fans. We're victims by our own creation. We're like Dr. Frankenstein. We created a monster, we sent it out into the world, and it came back to try to murder us. And it nearly succeeded in killing our precious boy, Mac Jones. Fucking Bill almost was Dr. Bill Frankenstein. You want your Texans to bring back Clowney, but I doubt. Yeah, I don't think Clowney's going to go back to Houston. I think Clowney said he's wanting to play for titles right now, so. Which is, I mean, he should just go be a rented player. And then just join the team halfway through the year and then play half the snaps. Even that you signed for. Like, I don't know. If you're a playoff team, yeah, you should sign Jadeveon Clowney and just stash him. Maybe, but again, I think the fundamental issue, Mike, is we were kind of breaking down why Patricia failed. And I think you might have had like the best explanation I've come to yet. Is Matt Patricia, again, he's a pretty decent defensive coordinator and a pretty decent defensive strategist. And it seems like Matt Patricia built his offense on this idea that what plays do I not know how to stop? / what plays would surprise me as a defensive coordinator. And he built his offense basically trying to assume that he has the best like play wrecking. Like, I don't know what he built his offense on, but what's up, Jacob? Welcome back. But it had to be like predicated on this like weird notion that like, since I don't know how to beat this play, another defensive coordinator wouldn't be able to beat this play. And if this concept in play would surprise me from this formation, then it would surprise another defensive coordinator, and that would make a good play. And that's kind of how it seemed like Patricia built his offenses. Because again, when you look at like a real offense, like you'll watch a random second down and like 7 play where they'll do like a side flip to one of the receivers and they'll do an end around, receiver will take the ball and take off. And that play is the end result of that play is negative. It doesn't matter what happens. They could lose yards, they could score a touchdown. It's all kind of in a wash on that play because that play sets up 3 plays down the road where you fake it for a deep throw. Or you fake it or do an actual head. You just set it up for you're setting something up 3 plays down the road with some plays like that. A second and short, you're like, fuck it, we could do a setup play. And Patricia fundamentally did not understand that that's how you build offense in the NFL. And it's not just like every play isn't. You should be trying to get some kind of forward progress, but some plays, not every single play, not all 60 to 50 to 70 plays you run in a game need to be 100% focused on getting out like forward progress and gaining yards. Some plays set plays up. It just has this weird. What game to 1240? Oh, you're going to Guardians? Nice. Yeah, what's up though, Jacob? So I don't know. It's a good way to see if your team knows how to build offense, as if they use plays to set up other ones. And the Patriots did not use a singular play to set up another play. Yeah, the place came from O'Brien when Mac Jones would call down to Alabama for help. God, what a... I don't even... You know what? There's a part of me that doesn't think that that was real. Like, apparently, known truth teller Albert Breer, is lying about... Apparently, Albert Breer is running with this weird story that the reason the Patriots suspended Jack Jones, it wasn't actually because he didn't do something right with an injury check-in. And Bill's very, 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 very anal retentive about players following the rules on injuries. Because if players don't follow the fucking injury rules, oh, we get in so much trouble when play. Like Jack has to understand, and he does. He's not even mad at the team about this and why he got suspended for it. We can't make mistakes. Like any clerical paperwork errors, any tiny little thing that we do wrong gets blown out of proportion into this giant scandal that's going on when it's literally just like a player lied. And I think Jack Jones was like going to like deal with his injury off campus and like lied about it and like might almost broke an NFL rule by doing something like that because he didn't notify the NFLPA or something. And we could have gotten big goddamn trouble if we didn't do something. Yeah. Yeah. For literally tiny, we went like a minute over and yeah, you guys don't think the Patriots get in trouble. We literally, I don't think I've ever seen a team more scrutinized than the Patriots. We are getting in trouble for players making mistakes with injury reports. This has happened to us several times with the injury report. Ugh. Hate the injury report. It's basically a design, we got your Patriots button. I don't know. It seems like the stream has pretty much died at this juncture. I think it's down to 3 people. It says 3. So it's me and 2 other people. So I think that's about where we can wrap it up. I believe in things that have reached a natural end. Hop on Madden? Yeah, I don't feel like it. There's 3 people here. I'm not going to do all that for 3 people. Fair enough, Mike. I understand. It's all good. Appreciate people coming by. It's just, I don't know. I've already streamed once today, and I'm streaming again tomorrow morning, and I have to work tomorrow, so I'm probably going to just get out of here and enjoy the rest of my night, to be honest. You got to wake up early for work. Yeah, I don't have to wake up early. I work from 5 to sometime tomorrow night, but I just, you know. What's up, Preston? How's it going? You tuning in right at more toward the end of the stream, my friend. Kind of unfortunate. At least if you want to, you can go to the beginning and listen to a pretty decent stream. I think this is a pretty good one. I don't think you need a ton of context to just give a good listen to it. I think it's a rather good stream. I don't know. I guess people are popping in a little bit. I could stay a little longer. We're back up to 5. I don't know though. It's mainly just also because no, he hasn't decided. He's still he said he's not in any hurry to make any decisions. So more than likely we won't know for a little while. Damn, we had 20 likes. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. As long as they're all real, we'll see how many actually stick around. That'll be fun to see. Oh, we shall see. See. Oh yeah, Broncos signed Frank Clark was a big deal, but we kind of talked about that the other stream. Appreciate you, Preston. Pretty good revenge signing. I think that was the other big one that I wanted to talk about. J.C. Horn missed the rest of Otaz. That was a big one. People are starting to compare Jamar Gibbs to Alvin Kamara, which is cool. Titans player says they're not rebuilding. Danielle Hunter's possibly on the trade block. Michael Thomas says he's ready to go. That's cool. Yeah, I'm surprised why they're not just rebuilding. They literally have the pieces to trade for a very good rebuild. Did they not think Derrick Henry has any like trade value, even with his contract? Well, Brady been retired. This is all stuff that happened since like June 7th. So yeah. It was like 3 to 4 day old information. Let's see. Oh yeah, Nick Bosa thinks he's about to get a big new deal. DeMar Hamlin's practicing. Jimmy Garoppolo's expected to be halfway decent when everything gets going. Injuries. Gronk broke his body, is why he retired early. He fucked himself up when he was young. I think Gronk said he had like 8 pages of surgeries by the time he left college. Like you could like pull up like his medical chart of like what operations and various surgeries and like little procedures he's had. And it was like a chart that was like this thick. According to Gronk. Yeah, Brady. Like, I almost feel bad that they keep bothering this fucking dude about unretiring. He looks like he's about to go. How many more fucking times do I have to say no? I'm done. I'm 45 motherfucking years old. I shouldn't have played last year. I should have quit when I got that fucking 7th Super Bowl. Do you think there's a part of him that regrets just not retiring when he got the 7th? The Blinds Planet. People tuning in more toward the end, but that's all right. I don't mind going as long as people are in here chit-chatting. The numbers are decent. Yeah, I'll be live for the game tomorrow. He's in 2024. He supposedly is starting his Fox contract up, but there's some thoughts that he may try to break that with Fox, and Fox may not mind, especially since Luke Olson rose up in popularity. There's some thoughts that might happen. What's up, Kenny? You wanted to chill tonight? Cool. In his defense, if Tampa Bay's line didn't get injured, he'd have been in the Super Bowl. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's just retired now. I'm always confident for the Tigers. I'm not a bitch-made fan. No, that's the Dolphins fan being insane. Oh, really? Are you talking about Tua? Dude, you don't understand the power of Tua. It is rather sad though that the founder of TuaNon passed away. This is something I really want to talk about. Have you guys heard about what's been going on with Chris Sims, the absolute demon of Chris Sims? Mike, you might even think this is too. You might have heard about what's going on with Chris Sims because you kind of fuck around with Dolphins communities. My apartment. I have an apartment. Yeah, I thought so too. That person must have been lying to us, Lions Planet. But anybody, you guys all know what TuaNon is, right? It's like a fun online group of Miami Dolphins fans. They're kind of annoying. Ultimately, they're very harmless. They just run around and basically act like the Hacker Collective Anonymous, but for like spreading truth. And Chris Sims always kind of shits on Tua, right? And like TuaNon has a lot of fun with Chris Sims. They troll him a little bit and kind of mess with him, and just kind of get his goat. And again, this this as a tank. Oh my god, he looks a lot bigger. We'll see if it helps. And this guy who created Tuanon passed away in a car accident, right? It's a pretty sad situation if you kind of follow any of the NFL media stuff, and basically, you know, it's a pretty sad story for the guy who passed. And here's what Chris Sims had to say about everything. Boy, oh boy, was this a crazy moment. So basically, Chris Sims used to get. Hold on, where is the thing? Hold on. Chris Sims used to get very much trolled by people like King of Finland, the Tuanon community, and all that, right? Like really got fucked with. I mean, Mike Florio took a lot of shots too, but we're not talking about Mike Florio. Mike Florio takes a W in this situation somehow. Yeah, Mike Florio comes out looking like a great human being. This is how bad of a situation Chris Sims has gotten himself into. So Chris Sims is talking about the passing of Tuanon from Eric, or I think his name was Eric, or something like that. Yeah, Eric's family. Here's Chris Sims' thoughts about Tua. And so Tua found out about Tuanon and what's happened, and Tua knows about the thing, and he donated about $10,000 to the family, and it probably might do a little bit more, I'm guessing, kind of privately, though. But publicly, Tua donated like, or was it 25? No, it was 10,000. Yeah, like a lot of money to the family of the people who ran Tuanon. Very cool situation. It's nice to see like the NFL community helping out this family. Chris Sims had some words to say about that, boy. Let me tell you, Chris Sims fucking hates that. Chris Sims is here to piss in everybody's Wheaties this morning. He said, he starts by saying it's a nice gesture and a horrible thing, but then immediately goes into, he trolled me a lot. It's just, apparently he goes right from like talking about how bad it is, that guy trolled me a lot. And then Florio goes into saying that it's better to be trolled than ignored because you are the people are interacting with you. You know, showing a weird side of Florio, who's weirdly been looking pretty good lately in terms of just not being a fucking loser. Sims clearly disagrees with it, but says it's a deep subject and he won't go into that because he'll get in trouble. What? He got trolled so bad, he wants to talk shit about a dead guy. Like, and he's so bothered by it. That if he starts talking about Eric and the passing of the Tuanon guy, he's going to get himself into trouble. It's a wild thing to say about somebody who just passed. What? Because he fucked with you on the internet a little bit? Jesus, Chris. Flory responds by saying it's not that deep. They're just being fans. Literally, that's the greatest statement I've ever heard an NFL media person say, right there by Florio. That must be the most aware Mike Florio has. Like, Chris Sims was such an awful person in this moment. Mike Florio gained 100 sentience. He was like, dude, you can't say shit. Like, dude, you got to calm down. These are just people, man. Most of them are just fucking, like, they're fucking around. They're little, like, they're just, like, having fun, dude. It's not that deep. They're just fans. Chris Sims again disagrees and says, we're also setting an example of, hey, here's money to a guy who was very, very negative. Chris Sims literally said he doesn't think it's a good idea to donate to money to Eric Carmona because the Tuanon account trolled him on Twitter. We're setting an example. If here's some money to a guy who was very negative. And that's why Chris Sims is upset about Tua donating $10,000 to Tuanon in a very trying time for that family. That's fucking crazy to me. Chris Sims really said these things. He's really like, imagine though, you troll somebody that badly, and this is the response they have. That guy got one final hilarious W from beyond the grave, and I'm really in awe of Tuanon. What's up, Ven? Like, is this a W from the grave for Eric? I can't imagine an even greater W from the guy who ran Tuanon. He got Chris Sims one more time from beyond the grave. Oh, dude, Tuanon fucked with Chris Sims so hard. You don't understand. They really messed him up. They went hard on Chris Sims because he dared to say that Tua wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL. And it's weird because he'd go back at him too. I don't understand why he's so mean and aggressive about this. So what's up, Ben? We're talking about the whole the passing of the Eric Carmona of the Tuanon group, the founder of the group, and how Chris Sims had this wild ass statement to say about it. I mean, yeah, they're terrible. Like they're brutal. But like Jesus, dude. I mean, the guy just and here's Mike Florio. Florio clearly very much disagreed and said all NFL fans should peel off a few bucks. You know, Dolphins fans, Bills Mafia, everyone, we're all tied together by our love of football. So, you know, obviously, Mr. Florio disagreed heavily with the notion there. Hating Chris Sims, everybody. Why are we mad at Chris Sims? Like, ultimately, Chris is allowed to have that opinion, but it's like, what happened with Mary Kay Cabot? Oh, no. Let her crazy ass get into. Yeah, but like, like Tuanon, like, ultimately, I know they're kind of shitty and annoying, but like, they're just fucking around. Like, it's like it's as Florio said, he had the best response. It's really not that deep. They're just annoying shitheads. That's it. That's it. That's it. Like Florio, like Chris Sims acting like they're like terrible people and like they're like, dude, Chris, it's not that serious where you need to shit on dead people. No, like this is a little deeper than just upsetting people. This is like some wild talking. Like Chris Sims just for some reason got like it like he took like some weird shit way too personal and just started kind of like really ripping on a bunch of fucking like Florio like was like, dude, what are you doing? It's literally they're just fucking with you, dude. Like I don't know. Again, like Sims doesn't have to like him or donate any money or anything like that, but he doesn't need to talk shit about it. I think it was that Sheerport Dolphins tried to get Jimmy G. Oh boy. I didn't hear that people were being racist to Mary. Like, what are they gonna say? Like, what are they being mean to her about? What the fuck did she say? So Ben, how's it going? How's Ben Kenny? How's post Aaron Rodgers life? What's the how's Otaz? It's probably pretty weird. You guys don't have to worry about everything going good for King Rogers. Regular fans are fine. The Twitter people, yeah, pretty much. Twitter is awful. Appreciate you, Dominic. You're a good guy. That's what I'm saying, bro. They know his kryptonite. He's falling into their trap towards it all, fighting over opinions. Wait, hold on a minute. What? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sims. Yeah, he's thin skinned. You can just kind of get to Chris Sims after a while if you press the right buttons enough. Florio's usually pretty bad with trolls, but apparently he doesn't like what's the word? Internalize it. That's the word. The voodoo fires. Oh, they have new. They've how hot are those? That sounds like pretty warm fucking sauce. When they get broken up, Oh, Chase Young is trending all of a sudden. Oh, that's why. Because in the last hour, apparently the Steelers have suddenly come very in on Chase Young. Okay, that's interesting. Chase Young on the Steelers. Jesus, Watt and Young. Yeah, dude, Twitter is just failing. I can't wait for Blue Sky to go public. What's up, Phil? Nice. Nice. I guess Ben left. You know, I was about to bring up the Packers. He doesn't have the alpha. He's not much. Ben isn't much of an alpha male to face me about the Packers. He knows. He knows one day that he's going to come in here and he's going to have to talk to me about his football team. You're going to go? All right, for sure, Phil. You have a good night too, man. Thanks for coming in for when you could, my friend. I appreciate you. Oh shit. Oh, what's up, Ben? I was just kidding. No, I don't like to smoke weed before I go to bed. It's a waste, and I sleep better without that. I don't sleep very long if I sleep high, so I don't like to do that. Plus, I like going into REM sleep and having scary ass dreams, so I like dreaming. You know what's funny about me is like if I don't have a terrifying nightmare type dream, I'm actually kind of bummed out when I wake up. Like, well, that was fucking boring. Yeah, I don't know either about D-Hop Van and Cook, the obvious choice to the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't. Maybe the Broncos too. Yeah, appreciate that, Phil. Yeah, yeah. There's not really much to talk about with Cook. The only like other option would be the possible, would be the Broncos. They're like the only other like decent team that needs a running back. And D-Hop, I don't know either. And then the Bill, did you hear the Bills and the Chiefs basically like put it out through their like beat reporters that they're not interested? Okay, dominant. Yeah, apparently the Bills and the Chiefs said that they're out. There's the Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, and like two other teams are just out. It's basically down to the Titans, Browns, Patriots, and Texans. Those are like the four teams that are left like linked to DeAndre. Only like I think only the Patriots and the Titans can afford him really. He's meeting with the Patriots this week. I think like Monday or Tuesday. So it's seemingly down to between the Patriots and the Titans unless he schedules more visits. What have I been saying since like I don't know since you've known me? I don't know. You know, I've been manifesting this since like 2020, 2020, 2019. I've been telling everybody I knew this would happen one day. It just took a little while. Yeah, I don't know if the Titans are like, but like every Titans player is claiming that they're not rebuilding. So like if suddenly they're after D-Hop, it makes a lot more sense, you know. Um, but I don't think he wants to go to Tennessee. Not without a quarterback there. They're fucking, it's garbage there. And the Patriots, the only reason I'm starting to think he might want to be a Patriot is because like there's this weird timing thing that's happened, right? Okay, so right after, like, think about this timeline, and I think I'm just about right with how the order of events went with this. So DeAndre Hopkins has that big thing where he kind of talks about like where he like kind of like says like somebody's saying teams at him, and he kind of like seems like teams like that he wants to play for have a good reaction. Teams he doesn't want to play for have a bad reaction or just no reaction. Um, or it was bad reaction or good reaction. And like for like the Chiefs and the Bills, he was all like gang ho for him. He was very gang ho for the Ravens on that as well. And with the Patriots, he just didn't do anything. And then there was a couple bad reactions he gave to some teams. I think Houston was one of the bad reactions. So obviously there was nothing to that. And then I think shortly after that, he goes on a podcast and gives like these like very 4 specific things he wants in a new team. One of them was, I believe, a quarterback that's dedicated to winning and really likes football, an elite defense, a coach who is a very good coach, and a very stable like front management situation. Everything's stable. Stable coaching, stable coordinators. You know, obviously coaches leave and go get new jobs, but like a stable system in place. Those were his 4 major things he wanted in a new team. And like obviously, like all those teams are pretty hot. Like all the teams that he likes, the Bills have that, the Ravens have that, the the Chiefs have that, and like all the teams he wanted to go to has those things. So like everything was making sense, and then like a bunch of weird reports start coming out like within the next week or so, like a bunch of very strange little reports about how teams aren't super interested in signing him. There's like reports coming out that teams are finding him to be kind of broken down and kind of a washed version of himself, that he wasn't like anything like he used to be. There was even one report from an executive anonymously that they were only prepared to offer like $2.5 million, and like that's about all he knows that other teams should offer him. And then, like, suddenly, he's had zero interest in the New England Patriots this entire offseason. It seems like explicit there was no interest in the Patriots leading up into last week. Suddenly, he wants to go to the Patriots, or at least have a meeting with the team all of a sudden that he had expressed no interest in. And he's been posting all these cryptic things about like, I'm washed and blah, 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 blah. And he's talking all this shit about like teams not like, and suddenly there is no visits with the Bills planned, no visits with the Chiefs planned. And I'm just wondering, like, were the teams that were talking shit to him like early in the process, was it the Bills and the Chiefs that were offering him these low-ass did he have private meetings with them and get kind of shit on them? And now he's kind of looking at the Patriots like, oh, yeah? All right. Because, again, who is, like, one of the biggest enemies of both the Chiefs and the Bills? Like, it's like, you can make one diabolical-ass move and sign with, like, a team that, oh, boy, those two teams don't like. And actually do damage to both of those two teams that called you old and washed and was only willing to, like, dude, there's a good chance that the Bills are the team that are like, we're only giving him $2.5 million, because suddenly there's like no talk of him wanting to go to the Bills. It's just gone. That is just a non-conversation around DeAndre. And I'm like, what happened? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, wasn't that like a thing? He was going to one of those two teams, and now neither team is willing to even make a move to put any money on that team. And there's these reports coming out about teams that have already seemingly met with him or seemingly have an idea about DeAndre, like they did a bunch of homework. And these are teams like, and I'm wondering if those are like the early teams that he really wanted to go to, so they like looked into it and went, nah, we're good. Because again, like, why wouldn't, if you're the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens, why wouldn't you immediately look into these things, right? Because, you know, you're mentioned by one of the best active receivers in the game, like, then he wants to come there. So I'm wondering if the sudden decision to meet with the Patriots seemingly out of nowhere, because again, it seemed like him to New England was just a dead thing. Now all of a sudden it's like we have like the second best odds to sign him. It's just like, huh? Could also be a pressure move on Buffalo to get them to make a move and pick him up. But again, I'm wondering if he has like bad feelings now towards a couple teams and he kind of wants to scorn them. And he's the kind of guy that like can make a difference in games. like I don't know. With DeAndre, it's interesting because again, it's kind of hard to determine where he's gonna go. Because he's playing everything so coy and trolling so well. But clearly something or some team has told him he's washed. because he is nonstop posting about it and like replying to everybody calling him washed. And something happened where he suddenly like, the Patriots are in play. Everyone thinks I'm washed. I'm about to fucking, and I'm like, did the Bills say something to this guy and really fucking bother him? I don't know. Somebody said something. I wonder if Houston said some similar shit because now he wants to go to the Titans, the Patriots. What's he about to have a meeting with the goddamn Broncos next? Let me have a meeting with the Raiders too. Why do you only want to meet with like very specific rival division opponents of like teams you wanted to play for? And I'll meet with the Browns. Everybody else, go fuck yourselves. I'd be like, oh, so some team's gonna get revenge DeVonta Parker or DeAndre Hopkins. And I really hope the Patriots get revenge DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, like I want to know what the next team. I think the next team will tell us a lot. If it's just like, if he's going to go meet with like the Ravens next, then I'm completely wrong on my theory. But I have a sneaky suspicion that the teams he wanted to go play for, something went wrong in his initial trying to get on those teams. And now he's kind of like, I'm going to play on some teams that have to play those teams. I'm going to fucking kill them. Because again, the Patriots do play they play all three of them teams that he wanted to play for. But there is also the fact that he could just be thinking like career move wise, what's the best coaching situation for him to go to? As much as he may not like it, I think he's really bothered by that, and I think he might have heard that from people like the Bills organization or the Chiefs. Oh, you did shrooms too? Nice, man. You think it's because people calling? Yeah, I'm not really. I really hope we get DeAndre Hopkins on the Patriots. Man, I'd love to have a revenge player on my team. Somebody who's just like out for blood. Well, because he didn't sign with the Chiefs or the Bills, now he's washed. So because he didn't sign with their teams and he's meeting with the Patriots, he's washed now. Ben, you don't know how the world works. Players are terrible unless they're on the like. Players are good until they play for the Patriots, then they're washed. That's the rule in the NFL. Like a player could be an all-pro. Like we could get Jamar Chase, and people will say that Jamar Chase is washed. People wouldn't admit Tom Brady was the greatest player of all time till he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Some people literally couldn't do it. They just were like, he plays for the Patriots. He sucks. He's washed. It's just like, why is it my team just gets so much shit? We literally haven't been good for like 4 years. Can we just fucking back up a little bit? Jesus Christ. I've had worse seasons than some of the worst teams in league history lately. The fuck are we doing? Yeah, but it's the Patriots. They pick up. Yeah, Ben, if he went to the Chiefs, everybody would be crying about how the Chiefs were about to win the Super Bowl. Or if he went to the Bills, that's what they'd be doing too. But now that he might sign with like the Titans or the Patriots, he's washed. He's no good. He's garbage. He's trash. Isn't that weird? Again, had he signed with one of those two teams or the Bengals or one of the like two good NFC teams, then he's praised. But since he wants to kind of go to the Patriots, he's washed. I feel like we're one of the few teams that I've ever seen that deals with that much level of hatred. Where for 29 or what was it, 30, 31 other teams in the league, he's like the greatest boon of a pickup. But if the Patriots want to get him, he's washed and he's no good, and they've made another mistake. It's like, huh? But yeah, Jack Jones, apparently Albert Breer's trying to start a new Patriots drama up, Ven. You know how he made up the fact that Bill Belichick and Tom hated each other? And that it stems from like the fact that like Tom or Bill Belichick has the audacity to lie or to yell at Tom Brady in practice and at the games when a little secret came out that the real reason that Belichick was yelling at Tom Brady was because Bill pulled him aside and asked if it was okay if he yelled at him. And according to Tom, Tom was like, I was actually on my way to talk to him about yelling at me at practice like everybody else. So that way it's like me and the boys against the coach. Like, Tom and Bill are very close personal friends and shit. Like, they never have not been close personal friends. Like, I loved the fact that there were books written about Brady and Belichick's relationship that are literal fan fiction. Seth Wickerscam wrote a whole book about our dynasty, about how it was built off two guys hating each other, and it was just made up. He never once talked to Tom Brady or Bill Belichick because he'd have found out that the two text regularly, that they're good friends. Yeah, I'll keep track of them people because they're gonna change their tone as soon as we get him. Yeah, and then now he's saying that Jack Jones was like yelling at Bill Belichick, and that's why he got suspended. No, he got suspended because he fucking fucked around and like went to like he was getting medical treatment away from the team, I believe, and wasn't telling the team, which you can actually get in big fucking trouble for as a team if you get caught doing that and don't like discipline it. So, like, the actual thing we punished him for, we wouldn't have actually punished him for if we weren't the Patriots, and we would probably lose draft picks if we didn't punish him for it. Like, it was literally a procedural thing. He missed a fucking, like, a practice. He missed a game he was going to be injured for anyway, so he still got paid for it. He's literally not even mad that he got suspended. He's more upset that he fucked up and did that, like made a really bad mistake. Like, it was literally something really simple, and everyone's blowing up. They're like, what he said, they have to earn his spot back. Yeah, he was fucking injured, and he's a rookie. The Patriots don't just give away starting spots in the secondary. No, you earn your spot in the secondary for the Patriots. Unless your name's like Kyle Duggar or Devin McCourty or Jonathan Jones. And even Jonathan Jones hasn't been a complete outside corner this year. They've literally... 2 days ago, do you know who was the starting outside corner after Albert Breer started running his mouth about how that Jack Jones is still in the doghouse? Do you know who started and played most of the first team outside corner practices outside of Christian Gonzalez, who appears to be, he's our outside corner? Jack Jones, the whole fucking practice, was the starting corner. Like, holy shit. Like, and Albert Breer said he stands by his story, and now that, like, it's like Jack's already back to starting as the outside corner like he was last year. Seems like he got his job back. Dude, he got hurt. Like everyone's forgetting he was hurt last year. And everyone's like, it's because he got suspended that he has to earn his spot back. No, he got hurt. He has to work his way back in. Bill just speaks like a fucking idiot. He said, we'll see how it plays out, because, again, that's just how he talks, dude. He's like they're like, man. It's like, man, why are you guys overlooking into this Jack Jones situation? The guy made a mistake, like a procedural mistake. He didn't, no one's even that mad at him. It's the same thing that that our punter got, like, pissy about, but, like, Bailey, but, like, he, like, got really offended that he got suspended for doing the same thing. Like, he took it really poorly. Yeah, that's the problem with Bill Belichick. There's nothing between the lines. I think that's where the cognitive dissonance happens with people and trying to report on what Bill Belichick says. Like, he'd be like, "No, me and Tom are perfectly fine." If somebody said that to you, like Mike, if I looked at you and went, "No, man, me and Amir are perfectly fine," and like with the weird tone that Bill puts on things, you'd be like, is there a problem with him and Amir? What the fuck was that? Why did he say it like that? And then you ask again, and he's like, listen, I'm not going to go into this any further. Because that's the first thing that, like, that's the kind of shit he would say. Like, I'm not going into this any further. And it's like, yeah, there's some bad shit going on between them two people. What the fuck was that energy that I just felt? Meanwhile, it's just a burning hatred for the reporter that he felt, and then he misfelt that as like burning hatred for Tom Brady. All right, guys, that's 2 hours though. I'm kind of out of things to talk about. If you want more, there's a ton at the beginning of the stream where we kind of go into a little bit more depth on a few things. We talk about some OTAs and some random shit and just kind of bullshit around. It was just nice to get a nice like 2 hour NFL stream in. Thank you to everyone who's come out. I appreciate you guys. But again, it's 11. I did nearly an extra 40 minutes. So Matt Ariza, he's going to get a job. I wouldn't feel bad for the punk god. He's fine. He'll get a job in. Somebody's going to sign that kid. I think I'll play Madden soon, though, Dominic. It'll possibly tomorrow night. Might do a little Madden tomorrow night. Those are fun because you can come in and just talk about football in those streams and be completely on brand. Just don't expect like deep analysis from me about like anything. I don't know. Anything important before we get out of here? You guys got any cool shit I'll be doing on the stream? Hey, 87 views. That's pretty solid for an NFL stream for us this time of year. That might be almost a goddamn record for this channel lately, anyway. For this time of year. Appreciate all the likes and all that, even though I think a good deal of them could be real, some of them could be fake. It doesn't really matter. Appreciate everyone who's left a real like and all that, but we're gonna get out of here, everybody. Appreciate you all for coming out tonight. It was a fun time. Nice to talk about the NFL. Always nice to branch back in. We're only probably a month away from more consistent NFL content again, just because, you know, it's hard to like come up with an NFL stream consistently because it's like we went over like all the news for like the last month, and like all the news from the last month basically happened in like a 4-day stretch, and there's been no news since like my last NFL stream that didn't go so well on like Wednesday. There's been like nothing. It's just some like weird injuries or like it's just speculation. Cool, man. Why do you keep telling me all this shit, dude? No one gives a fuck, Dominic. Not trying to be rude or anything, but it's like no one cares that much about your personal life. It's really annoying. Like, do you just want to be banned, dude? Because we can do that. Like, I'll hook you up with a ban. I don't give a fuck. Because you're being like obnoxious about this. Like I've told you several times, shut the fuck up about your personal life. I don't care. Now I'm gonna be mean about it now. Like I'm purposely not responding to when you're saying shit like that, hoping you catch on to like I don't care about your like weird 15-year-old life, dude. Stop putting drugs in your parents' house. And dude, it's nothing personal. Like if like things are going really bad, like you can talk to me, but like no offense, man, but I just don't care what you're doing, man. It's cool, like do all them things. Nobody I'm sure everyone else who's listening to this is probably smoking weed and getting drunk too. Like they're just not saying nothing about it, you know? That's the difference. When you're like typing about it, I number one don't believe you, and number two think you're kind of one of the people that do shit like that and like post about it for attention on the internet. And it's like no one thinks that makes you look any cooler, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And again, I'm not literally trying to be mean. I'm just letting you know how that looks to some people. But again, I don't know how things have changed. I haven't been a kid for 15 years, so I guess it could be cool now. But again, no, it's again not trying to be mean or anything, Dominic. I like having you around. You're funny. You're fun to talk to. And you're welcome to like be fucked up. I don't care about that. It's just like try not talking about it so much. Some of the more personal stuff isn't really a pro. Like I shouldn't know about your mom and yours relationship about stuff like that. Like that's a little inappropriate to share with the chat. That's all. It's kind of stuff you shouldn't share with strangers. But then again, I don't know actually. No one really knows you other than by dominant, and it could get it out of your head. I don't know. That one I actually disagree with. I don't know. Just be careful with stuff. Dominant. Be careful. Also, you shouldn't admit to doing crimes on the computer. You never know who's a cop. Put your fucking hands up. I'm right outside your door. This is just a recording. I'm about to bust that shit in, Dominant. You're going to jail, kiddo. Wow. Did I scare you a little bit, Dominant? Bang. No. All right, I'm gonna get out of here now. All right, everybody. Thank you for a fun stream tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, that's all right too. You don't have to enjoy shit. I appreciate you guys coming out, and hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, you've learned some stuff about the NFL tonight. Thank you for all the likes. If everyone's left one, I appreciate you. I'm gonna just chill out, Dominic. You'll be fine. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for the Tigers, and then I don't know what afterward because I do have to work tomorrow. So anyway, see you in about 12 hours for the Tigers and the Diamondbacks and Tigers finale. See you then. Peace out. As always, go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots, and peace.